Reality Observation Report.
I just imagine somebody who just came in live, just as soon as we started, just watching us waiting to go through the.
Yeah, because I'm not doing it with the screen anymore.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think the screen kind of just messes with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go live on Twitch, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it as well. The talking. I'm just gonna start a stream, and then if it goes, I did turn it. It is turned.
I didn't know it was the day before Halloween. Actually, I did know that.
Yeah, tomorrow's Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't think Twitch is gonna work. Oh well.
That's all right.
Yeah. I think there's something wrong with my phone that's it won't let it tilt anymore. It lost its tilting ability.
Did you update it?
No.
Oh, my mom updated her iPhone. It's an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
And she can't reverse the cameras on FaceTime.
What?
Yeah.
There's all this weird shit that goes on when you update your phone and stuff.
I haven't updated in a year.
At work, I just updated to Mojave, and it's breaking people's computers. There's developers and stuff, and they updated to Mojave, and they're bringing their computers into the the technical support, and they're black boxing them, which is you have to revert it back to before the update.
Yeah, when I update, I turn it off, but my computer, when it updates the Windows 10, somehow it changes from me wanting to not update it to updating it, and then it just completely screws with everything, and even including my printer, my tablet that I draw with, and all that, and I'm just stop updating it.
Yeah.
Whatever you're fixing, I'm probably not using.
Echoey. I don't know why it would sound echoey.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Sounds good for me.
Yeah.
Maybe take the phone out of the bowl.
I think it's his phone. But on the updates thing, they always tell you wait until they come up with the fix after an update. For Ableton or any of my recording software stuff, I never update it until I get a message saying, hey, there's been a bug fix or whatever, because that's when they figure out all this shit. Usually on first launch of a new update, for your phone or for your computer or whatever software, they always tell you don't update until after the bug fix, because is what the bug fix is for, is to fix all the stuff after I guess the release.
I did one update on my phone, and then anybody that wasn't an iPhone, I couldn't receive messages if my phone was turned off. So when they fixed that, I just decided I'm not going to update it anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It breaks shit all the time.
I think they just do it just to aggravate the shit out of you. Plus, I know that they do the whole phone thing.
They do what?
Oh man, I don't even remember what I just said.
They do the whole phone thing.
Oh, how battery thing. I meant battery thing.
Oh yeah, how the Apple sends you updates, or they want you to update your phone basically out of existence.
Yeah. So you can have to buy another one.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like updates.
No, they're fucking. It's stupid and waste of time. I'm checking to see if my preferences are. Oh, that could be why. That might be a reason why there is an echo. I had it on buffer size. So, we haven't had a podcast by ourselves in a while.
Yeah, it's been a month.
Yeah, we've been taking breaks.
Breaks and going through life, and then had 2 guests last time.
Yeah. How's your life been going?
It's going all right. How's yours?
It's all right.
Still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Art. Still doing music.
Yep. Released a new Break Night album. It's on Spotify.
I completely forgot until just now. I need to give you the bigger megabyte stuff.
No, I had it. You gave me a 6,000 by 6,000.
Oh, did I? Okay,
yeah,
cool,
pixel.
cool.
So
Okay.
it worked perfectly.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, little plug. The new Break Night album is out. Weekend Warrior. It's on Spotify, iTunes, all streaming formats. It's on SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. Some jacked up way it was loaded up. But yeah, it's out, and
cool.
I'm glad that it's over with because we already have a new song actually in the works that's gonna be pretty badass and pretty different. So,
That's cool.
and I'm working on a solo, shoegazy, indie rocky kind of album right now. So
That's cool. Yeah, I always think that like as soon as an album comes out from an artist, the songs are old because like Muse is coming out with a new album.
yeah,
And
I hate Muse.
one of those songs came out in 2017. Why do you hate Muse so much?
Dude, they're so fucking annoying. They can't make up their mind on like what kind of genre they are.
That's because they're a concept band. Well, later.
I just don't. I like some of the. There's like a couple songs I hear where I'm like, oh, that's a cool part. That's cool. But I hear this one song on the radio now, and it's got some like dubstep wobbly stuff in it, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, what is going on in this song?
Yeah, every album's a little different. The one that came out in 2015 called Drones, I absolutely hated.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of them.
To each their own, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean,
On their new album, though, you might like this. You like Stranger Things?
like this show.
Yeah.
I watched the first season. I haven't watched the second
Okay.
season yet.
Never seen it. But the artist that did the artwork for Stranger Things
Yeah.
did the album cover for the new one.
Oh, that's
Movies.
pretty cool.
Yeah. They showed like on YouTube how he drew it and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
I like seeing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Progress.
So what's going on in your art world?
Nothing much. Went to the LA Comic Con.
Oh yeah.
Complete waste of time, dude.
Why?
I didn't see any known illustrators there. It's more like if I wanted a booth and showcase my art, it was like more of those people. And then usually they have, like the one in Chicago, they'll have different indie publishers booths where you can meet some of the artists and have, or they'll have their books there. And then when I was in the one in Kansas City, I met a dude named Frank from Avatar. Not Avatar. What is it called? Aspen Comics. I think it was Aspen. Was it Aspen? I don't remember which one. But it's like you meet the people who actually are the publishers and you can talk to them about their art and stuff, your art. Didn't see any of those there, so I just kind of just wandered around, found a Doom Patrol comic I needed, issue
Oh, nice.
119. It's really cool. It's like it's like the Mind Switcher thing with Cliff Steele.
Nice.
So I picked that up, which is really weird with Doom Patrol comics. I don't know if the people that sell them, I'm going to go on a little tangent real quick. If people that sell them always have them half off, because every time I've ever bought a Doom Patrol comic at a Comic-Con, they'll say, oh, it's 50% off. So I'm like, I think these are just regular prices.
Yeah, they're just bullshitting you.
Yeah.
That's how it is at half price books. It always says, "Oh, buy 4 comics for $1 or whatever," and it's like that's the price they always are.
Yeah, I think it's just messing with your head.
Yeah, because it's I think the mentality behind that is probably you don't get reoccurring customers. It's not like a store where the same people come in constantly. It's a one-time thing, so it's like, oh, 50% off.
Yeah, so
But
just,
it's
like,
always
mind
50%
fucking-
off. Yeah.
But on the way there, I had a conversation. Hopefully, he's listening to one of these with a guy named Joe.
Joe.
Joe, he was my
Illustrious Joe.
Uber driver.
Did he have a last name?
He probably does. I just didn't get it.
What did he smell like? What kind of car did he drive?
I don't remember. I think it was the weird thing is because I was looking for him, and the way that the whole thing was set up, he couldn't get to the drop off point or the pickup point, whatever it's called. So I saw the license plate number on my phone, and then I saw his picture. I'm like, that's the dude. And so I just ran through traffic, got in his car after I showed him my phone. He's like, how'd you know it was me? I'm like, dude, your picture looks just like you. He goes, you're the only one that's ever said that. Because like all of his, I guess his picture doesn't look like him. I was like, no, this looks just like you. And he goes, it could be because I took a new one today. But on the car ride, we were talking about just different things about like life and spirituality and stuff. And by the end of the conversation, he told me that he just doesn't have these sort of conversations with people, and it's the stuff that you and I talk about. And I told him to listen to the podcast, so hopefully he's listening to the podcast, which is like, I guess you're talking about. I told him to listen to the ayahuasca one, which is 2 episodes ago now.
Yeah.
Because he's never really heard of ayahuasca, so I told him about that and stuff. But it was really cool. He told me about his like life and stuff. He's had a huge family. He's a pretty cool guy.
Is all he does is Uber?
Well, he does Lyft. He bounces back and forth.
Isn't it so funny? The innate like feeling and the obligatory question that you have to ask someone when you get in the Uber is, so how long have you been Ubering?
Yeah, well, now they have the thing that says new car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so because I thought new car meant like, oh, he's got a new car.
Yeah.
This wasn't Joe, it was somebody else, and it's like, this car. I was like, what year's your car? That's the first question I asked them. I was like, what year's your car? Like, oh, 2015. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
a new car.
Dude, if I was an Uber driver, I'd get so pissed off because I always ask the Uber driver, so how long have you been Ubering? Is this all you do? Is your only source of income? Usually their stories are cool, you know, how they got into it and what they do and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I would just get sick of it. I would put a sign up in my Uber that says, I've been Ubering for 6 months, or I've been Ubering for this long, just to
Yeah.
get the conversation out of the way, because you know it's going to happen. Ubers are getting kind of awkward, because there's sometimes, like, when you get in, especially like Mercedes and I went to see Beck, and the guy was nice that picked us up, but I was kind of in a not talking mood. I didn't really want to talk, and he's just fucking, I swear to God, he was on coke, because he was talking like 1,000,000 miles a minute, and he was from
Could have been on Adderall or something too.
yeah, something. He was from I think like Kenya or something like that. But sometimes you get in and like you don't want to talk, you know?
Yeah.
And I always feel like it's when you don't want to talk is when you get the super talkative Uber driver who's just nailing you with questions. And then the times you do want to talk, you get the fucking quiet, weird one. Like this one time I was on the way to the airport in Kansas City, and I had this guy, really weird guy. He had like just gotten a brand new tattoo on his neck, so he had like saran wrap wrapped around his neck, and he had his like fingernails painted and all, like, not that that's weird, whatever, but just a culmination of all these things. He had a bunch of Ninja Turtle flat bills on his
What flat bills?
like flat billed
Oh,
hats.
hats, okay.
Yeah. Had a bunch of Ninja Turtle flat bills on his like dashboard. And I got in there and I was going to the airport. I think I was going to New Orleans or something, and I was like, this guy's fucking weird. But I like it was a long drive, so I always feel the need to spark up a long conversation on long rides, so it's not awkward. And he just would not talk about anything. And I was like, oh, is that a new tattoo? And he went off on that for like 2 minutes, but then it was silence. And I was like, I thought that he was probably going to kill me.
He probably not a very good conversationalist and doesn't know how to like flow into the next one. Like, oh, hey, I got this tattoo. Do you have any tattoos? Why'd you get you know, like just kind of
Right.
flow into them.
But I think that sometimes if you're in the right mood, if both parties are in the right mood, Uber conversation is that'd be a good podcast.
Just go into an Uber.
In
and
an
do it.
Uber and have like, just drive a Uber around all day, or ride Ubers around all day and just have conversations in the Uber about shit.
Yeah. I would have the question if I was the Uber driver. So how long have you been taking Uber?
Well, my first Uber ride was the day they came out, but it's such a good idea and a good thing to have, just like those bird scooters. When I was in Austin, I think we've only done one podcast since then. Yeah, but when we were in Austin, we stayed like right by the music festival, Austin City Limits, and we took scooters everywhere. The bird scooters, it's awesome. When you're visiting a town and you don't have anywhere, or you don't want to rent a car, or you don't want to like walk anywhere, having those scooters around is fucking money. But the Lime bike ones suck. The Lime scooters are god awful. Do not ride them if you have the choice, because they're so dinky and dainty. Like if you hit like a bump or like
That's exactly what I was thinking in my head. Why I'm laughing. You
Yeah.
launch off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like they will fuck up if you hit like a bump or like some sort of like rock. Like we were riding back from like a restaurant or something, Mercedes and I had a Bird, which are built like a fucking tank. They have big round rubber tires, and they're built like the body is like really strong. But then the Lime bike ones, the part you stand on is like lower to the ground, and there's not much room between the tire and like where you stand on meets. So if like you hit something, like it'll fuck it up. And she hit like a rock and almost wiped out. And like I was on the Bird running over rocks, running over small children and shit, just like hauling ass. But some of them can be dangerous. I was riding a Lime bike one, and I was on the sidewalk. You're not supposed to ride on the sidewalk, but it was on like
Supposed to be in the street, like on the road.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's a not a busy road, it's fine. But like on a main road, it's like fuck that. I'm getting on.
Yeah, I would not want to do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I have a funny story after this about a scooter too. So I'm like on the sidewalk, and I'm behind my stepbrother Michael, who's on a Bird, and he's like in the street, or maybe he's on the other side of the road, something like that. But I'm going, and I don't see it because it's not marked, but the sidewalk ends. And literally there's like a foot drop off, and luckily I see it at the last minute, and I jump off my Lime scooter, hit the ground, jump back on it like a pro, right? And I'm like, whew. But if I wouldn't have been paying attention, like, it would have destroyed me. I would have been fucked up. My brother,
How fast do these things go?
I don't even know.
Like 5 miles an hour? Or something?
No, like 20.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they go decently fast. You can get them scooting. But my brother, like a couple weeks before that, fucked himself up on one of them. But yeah, they're kind of dangerous. But funny story, I had to. I don't know if I should tell the story. Okay, I'll tell it.
Okay.
So it was the last day in Austin, and it was me. The people who went to Austin were me, Mercedes, my two brothers there too, my one brother's wife, and my other brother's girlfriend. So on the last day, we went across the street from our Airbnb because we had to check out, and we put all of our luggage at my brother's friend's house, and then we went down a couple miles to eat. Well, when we were I had oysters the night before and drank a lot, so my belly was just fucking gurgling up a storm.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be.
Yeah. So we get in this guy's apartment, we're putting our luggage down, and I'm just like, I'm going to shit my pants. Like, we're walking through the hallways of the apartment, and I'm looking like left and right, like begging for a bathroom because like I have to go so bad. Like, it's one of those like shits where like it's not going to wait for you. It's not going to wait to sit down.
It's like a tiny little knife.
Yeah. It's going to come when it wants to come. So I'm like looking, I'm like, shit. My brother had his car, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to drive us down to the restaurant. And I was like, one of us would have had to sit on someone's lap, and I was like, I'll just scooter down there. But the real reason I wanted a scooter because I wanted to go find a bathroom. So I didn't shit all over myself in my brother's car. So they get in the car and go, and I run up. I saw a Bird scooter when we were walking in. I was like, oh, perfect. I'm going to get that. I'm going to go take a shit at this gas station. Then I'm going to get on the scooter. Then I'll be fine. So I run up to the gas station. No public bathroom. I'm like, fuck. So I go and try to get the scooter so I could ride down to this other thing. The scooter's being used by someone else, so I can't use it. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's like 9:30 in the morning. Nothing's open. So I like look over, and there's this Mexican restaurant. I'm like, oh, it has an open sign. So I run over there, and I'm like, I walk in, and there's like, clearly the manager is like at the podium, and she's like, hi, may I help you? I was like, yeah, do you guys do takeout? And they're like, yeah, we sure do. You can order at the bar. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. And then I was like, where's your bathroom? Because on the front door it says no public restrooms. So I was going to pretend I was going to buy a taco or something when I first went in, just so I could, because working in a restaurant, I hated when people did that. But then I was like, oh, cool. Can I use your bathroom real quick? And she gave me like this look like, I know what you're up to.
Yeah.
She's like right there and like rolled her eyes. And I ran in there and just
Unleashed.
took all those oysters, all 8 oysters just right out. All the horseradish, all the oysters, all the hot sauce. And I was just like, oh, I was like a brand new person. I didn't have that anxious, warm feeling. And I like peek my head out. I don't see anyone. And I just fucking book it out the front door and run down the street and get a different scooter and hop on it and then go meet my brothers and everyone for breakfast. But dude, it was a bad situation because my luggage was already in this dude's house. So like I had to do something because I wasn't going to shit my pants and then go back upstairs and be like, I'm sorry, can I see my luggage real quick?
Yeah. While you dip it in the bathtub to clean it up.
Right. Such an uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a good festival.
That's cool. How long is it? Like a week?
Well, it's one weekend. It's 2 weekends. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 2 weekends. And like pretty much all the same people play. Some weekends, some people don't play. Some weekends, some people do play it. So
it's like 2 shows. 2 the same shows.
Yeah. But it was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. Drank hella beer.
Any local beers?
Yeah, but I don't remember.
That's
Oh, we went to this cool place, probably best pizza I've had in a long time, called Austin ABGB, Austin Beer Garden, Austin City Beer, ACBG, Austin City Beer Garden. It was really good beer.
And that was at the restaurant?
No, it's just, well, yeah, it's like a brewery, but they also have like small plate kind of stuff.
Kind of like what Urban Chestnut does.
Yeah, exactly like that,
Okay.
but different food. But the topic we kind of discussed that we want to talk about, being in the moment, perfect example was, so I guess we've talked before about like pretty much we live life in this constant perpetual state of moving forward, like, oh, I'm biding my time till I do this. I feel like people, we always set we set our lives upon these like benchmarks or these like events. There always has to be an event
to get to.
Yeah. We're always going somewhere and we're always waiting to go somewhere and that sort of thing. And like when I was in Austin, I tried really hard to, while I was present in the moment or while I was there at the moment to like be present, take everything in, try to slow time down and stuff, because I knew that as soon as I left there, it's boom, everything's back,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I tried to, like I was saying, hey, sorry, I was a little late because of like inking. I try to have like things like just lined up so I don't have those. Well, this weekend it was just a lot of waiting, but
yeah, traveling is kind of shitty, isn't it? Because it's like you wake up at like 6:30 in the morning, you go to the airport.
Well, I never do morning flights.
Oh, really?
I don't want to wake up early just to do that.
But regardless of morning or night, you go to the airport. You sit there for 2 fucking hours. You get on the plane. You wait for what seems like an eternity, 30 minutes. People walking by. Everyone is neurotic as fuck on planes. People are like in their overheads trying to put their refrigerator size overhead bag in the above compartment. Yeah. You know what's ridiculous is these people that get on the plane and they're like, so clearly the first 30 fucking rows are full, right?
Yeah, always. It never is.
Yeah. But they're full, and then you get these dumb fucks that get on the plane and they like are like walking through and like literally the second overhead bin they're trying to put their thing in. They want to put their thing in there. I'm like, why are you're going to sit back there? Why are you putting your suitcase up in the front?
Yeah, I don't understand why you don't put it where your seat is.
Yeah. You sit.
That's what I try to do.
Exactly. You sit in the aisle seat. You put it right above you. The part next to it is for the person that's sitting next to you. People are
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. People are so fucking ignorant with their luggage and like, and then there's the 2 carry-on thing, right? And it's
small bag like a purse or a backpack.
A small book bag, and the suitcase or whatever that really doesn't look like it needs to be a carry-on. But they're trying to shove all that shit in there, and they're bumping into people, and like everyone's waiting with the same look on their face. It's just a very uncomfortable experience getting on an airplane.
Yeah, I don't like the aisle seat. I much rather feel a little closed off next to the wall or the window. When I was flying back, this lady, she just was oversized, and just every time, because I was trying to sleep, and she would just rub her, I was going to say fupa. It's like all on my arm, like please. So I'm like trying to sit with my arms closed in, like I don't. And then there's this kid whining, but I could tell the type of whine that the kid was doing. This kid, maybe he's like 4 years old, was the attention type.
Oh
I was
god!
Like, please just shut the fuck up. So let's just put music in to try to fall asleep and everything. But yeah, trying to be in the moment too is I think that it's really difficult, especially when you know that you're trying to be in the moment. Like, okay, just be in the moment, be present, be aware.
Right.
What I try to do is gather as much stimuli that I possibly can to make a vivid memory.
Right.
So I can go back to that and relive it, because I know things are just extremely fleeting.
Well, see, the thing is being on that plane and in studying all these people on it, I was in the moment. I could tell you if I saw any of those people again, I'd be able to pick them out of a lineup easily.
See, I was walking through the plane, I was thinking I would never know who any of these people are.
Really?
I don't pay attention, because it's always that weird thing when you're walking and you're just looking for a spot, and then your eyes lock with someone, and you're like, hey,
hi,
and then just keep on walking.
No, but I have this vivid memory in my mind of this woman like walking in, and there's 2 suitcases, and she's trying to like fit her suitcase in the above compartment, and she's like moving stuff, and the flight attendant's like, you put your bag down there, and I'm just like, why did you even try that? And like, is your spatial awareness so off that you can't tell that you can't fit your damn suitcase in there again?
Yeah, I on the plane ride that landed there, I met a lady named Susan. She's from this area. She's really sweet and nice. And then we took the same plane back because we talked about it. We were in line, and then I asked her, because she was in a different row than I was, that she was going ahead. I was like, oh, hey, save me a seat, because she actually called me out. And I was like, hey, how's it going? And I wanted to talk to her, but I didn't see her on the plane. So then I just like picked a spot and then flew back. And then when I was waiting for my ride to pick me up, she's like, I saved you a seat. I felt so bad.
Oh,
She was like older and everything,
Yeah.
and just like I don't know, she's like in her mid 60s, and she was just super nice.
did
and-
she have long gray hair and wear glasses?
No, she was blonde. I don't know. She was like dyed blonde. Her hair's
Yeah.
probably gray, silvery now, but she's just really nice. And then I've been thinking about it for like the past couple of days. Like, please don't let anything bad karma happen to me. I didn't intentionally try to like.
Right.
But when she came walking through, because she was smoking a cigarette, like I said, I was waiting for my ride to pick me up, and she walked through back at KCI, and then she just like said, "Hey, I saved you a seat." And, like, I didn't see you, and I wanted to talk to her, and then she just kept on going. It's like, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I didn't see you. But you know what? It's like
Yeah.
she probably didn't give a shit.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm just like projecting feelings onto her.
Yeah. I just don't understand. There's got to be some sort of psychological study on the neuroticism and the things surrounding traveling in human beings. Because there's this very weird, and I think that I try to overcompensate and not be like that when I travel, but everyone in airports just seems like they have no fucking head on their shoulders. They're walking around, you know, and they're yelling, and then you get on the plane and there's this other sense of neuroticism, and it's just very weird. It's like
I think it's because you're at a high tense state.
yeah,
It's like just take driving and magnify it because you're not in control. Like,
that's true.
You are in like somebody else's mercy of when you can do things. Like, just think about it, like, hey, what number are you so I can get in front of you because I need to get here so I can get my
Right.
tickets. Like, we're all going to be on the plane. I always think about where I'm going to be. It's like, okay, I'm going to be uncomfortable in this plane for 3 hours.
But if you're flying solo, I wouldn't give a shit. But
Well, I haven't flown with somebody since
Yeah.
I was like with my parents.
like Mercedes and I, when we fly together, we want to sit together. So we pay for early bird check-in so we can get early on the plane because we don't want to sit away from each other. But
Yeah.
but even like when you're waiting in line for that, the people that sometimes I wonder, do people cut? You know, it's like now seating A1 through A15, and you're like, I always count. I'm like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 18 fucking people in this boarding section. Why is there 18 people here? There's 3 people in that boarding section that think that they deserve to get on for some reason. You know?
Have you ever heard that Bill Burr bit where he's talking about, he's like, he spent his entire life trying to make a career so when he gets on planes, he gets like the first thing, you know? He's like, I finally made it. But then he goes, anybody that has graying hair, anybody that's huge and fat, they can't, you know, like, he's like, you're letting all these people come in and I can't even get my seat? Like, I'm supposed to get the first pick now. I paid my dues. And he's like, anybody. It's like one guy, like, who has a dog. For some reason, like, emotional support dog, they get to go.
And then you get on and like the first 50 seats are filled.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, that was
Yeah.
worthless.
I just don't understand. Like, if you want to get on first, okay, pay the money. But there's no reason for you to cheat your way onto the plane first, you know?
Yeah, I'm always worried. My brother-in-law, that was the last person I've flown with, was my brother-in-law, and he's a bigger dude. He's not as like skinny as I am, and he goes, you're lucky because you can just fit anywhere. He goes, it's inevitable whenever he flies. He used to fly to Florida a lot to see his grandfather. He's like, whenever I would sit and I would get the first spot, 2 fat fucking dudes. He's like, I'm a fat dude. You can't have 3 fat guys sitting in the tiny seat. And so he's like trying to sit like this. He's like, it's super uncomfortable, you know?
Oh, God, and you're on there for like a decent amount of
Yeah,
time.
going like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Well, the thing with Southwest, it's 3 and 3. There's 3
Yeah.
seats on each side. Just do 2.
Well, the ones by the where like you blow out the side door or whatever, those
Yeah.
have 2.
Right, but that's only one. There's only 1 or 2 sections of that on a plane.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Either make like 2 on the sides and then 2 in the middle, or just do 2 on. You know, who flies in 3s?
Yeah.
Is there 3?
Well, I guess it's just
It's.
like
I guarantee the odds of it are less likely than people flying in pairs or 4s.
yeah, it's probably more evens.
It's just such an uncomfortable number.
You know what I don't get is these. I've been on planes since I was a kid, and it never has been this way. It's like in movies where you see planes and they have that middle row and then 2 in the sides.
Yeah.
Those don't exist.
No, they do. They're internationals.
That's what they
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
That's probably why I don't know.
International flights. Yeah, I
Okay.
flew an international flight one time, and
They
it
have
was
that middle row.
yeah. Well, yeah. There's like ones on the side and then ones in the middle because the plane's bigger.
Oh,
So
so you can have more
it's
people
like
in there?
3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
But it's still 3s.
I thought it was just made up. And that one curtain.
Yeah.
You know, they always had that curtain. What I'm thinking about is The Wedding Singer, where like there's a curtain and there's
Oh,
like this,
yeah, yeah.
the huge like hangout area
Yeah,
that seems
yeah.
like as big as the living room. I've never seen that because you're supposed to walk through that.
Yeah.
But I do remember being a kid and going through some of the airplanes, and there's like 2 seaters. They're like a little bigger, and then
Yeah.
they're off by a curtain. I do remember that, but I don't see those anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember like when they used to have those cigarette ashtrays and they put like a screw in so you couldn't like
Yeah.
smoke?
No smoking on this flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's been no smoking since like 1990. You don't have to keep saying it. Take that little sign down. We get it.
Maybe it's for international people who come in because are international planes? Can you smoke in those?
No.
Like if you're,
You can't smoke on any plane unless it's like a private jet. And
Yeah.
I don't even think you can do it on that.
I know you can't bring those butane lighters. They used to give out matches back.
I
in
just
the day.
don't get it. If there's someone that thinks you can smoke on a plane, you shouldn't be flying.
Could you? I always hear that's like it's a federal offense to tamper with whatever's in the bathroom to smoke. Do you really need it that bad? Why don't you just like if you smoke, couldn't just buy some chew
Yeah.
for the plane ride?
Yeah, or a nicotine patch or
Some gum, something. Like,
Yeah.
you can't make it
chew on a cigarette.
I think I'm going to take a random guess because I have no idea. From the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa, the plane ride's got to be 5 hours, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe max 6 or 7.
Yeah.
You're saying you can't stop yourself from smoking
Right.
for that long. So that's going from East to West Coast.
Yeah.
So if you're going from like Ohio to Colorado, you're saying 2 hours, 3 hours, you can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Flying gets my blood boiling. In the airport, I have a terrible, terrible disease where I study people and I just analyze people.
I do that too.
We were sitting, it was like, I forget what time our flight left. It was early enough to have a drink. I think it was like 10 o'clock. We both had Bloody Marys in Kansas City's shitty airport. Only has 2 restaurants, and it's a shitty Mexican cantina, and then a barbecue place that's decent.
It's just because it's old. Dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Those chairs look like something from the
Yeah.
70s.
But there was this woman and her fucking 18 million children, and you can tell they got money. And I mean, it's her and her 2 kids. Her mom is screaming at her, I don't want to eat here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, God, this is going to be a problem. And then the mom, so they take up like what should be a 4-top. She puts some luggage on another table over here, puts her coat on bar stools over here, puts her other shit over here. She's just like camping out, just talking loud, and her little brat demon child is yelling at her, and it's just like when the server comes over, she's like, I'm not really ready, asking all these questions. She's got the menu right in front of her, and I'm just like, what? She probably doesn't act that way when they go out to eat or something. It's just there's something about being in a travel situation that makes people act almost a little more entitled or just more neurotic. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I was in the wrong. Well, the ticket told me to sit in 17B, but eventually they moved. I don't know why, because they were running late or something. The plane going to Colorado. They moved it to 18A. Just information doesn't really matter to anybody. But I was sitting there in the wrong section, and there's like 2 sections over where I was supposed to go, which is like an hour later. This lady sits down next to me, and she's from Colorado, and I just pulled my book out. I've been waiting to read this thing all weekend. Like, I'm halfway through, pulled the book out. It's called From Eternity Here by Sean Carroll. I pulled it out, and I'm ready to read it. This lady comes in. She goes, hey, is this spot taken? I'm like, no, go ahead, sit down. Open the book. She goes, what book you reading? Is that new? I was like, okay, well, I can't just ignore her. I was like, no, I've been reading this for a while, and I told her what it is. She goes, oh, what's it about? I'm like, oh, well, it's a theory on time through quantum mechanics. And then she goes, oh, wow, I don't know anything about quantum mechanics. I read mysteries. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Just trying my hardest to stop this conversation because I just want to read this book. She talked my ear off about real estate.
Oh, Jesus.
I think what happened was I was talking about neuroscience and quantum mechanics because that's what, like, she's like, oh, what books do you read? So I said those 2. Just hoping to end it. Just not trying to go on. She's like, oh, I'm in real estate. And then she talks about like how many millions of dollars in real estate, commercial real estate she does and stuff. Like, lady, like, I just read these books. I'm not a quantum mechanic. I'm not like a neuroscience person.
Yeah.
Like, I just read this shit. You don't have to like throw your money out.
You should just be like, shut up.
Yeah. And she's like, I forget what her name was. And she had like this little, the thing that I hate with people, I don't really hate, it just annoys the shit out of me is when somebody, you get to know, it's mostly with women, you get to know them and then they say, oh, you'd be perfect for my daughter. Like,
Oh.
like, How would I don't know? No, how would you know?
There used to be this couple that would come into the restaurant, and they would tell Mercedes would be like, "Oh, yep, that's my boyfriend," pointing to me, and then like later on they'd be like, "You should like try to like suggest their son or something." I forget the exact story, but yeah,
They're always like mutants or something. Like,
yeah. But
toxic
you should be
energy.
able to just be like, "I don't want to talk. Don't talk to me."
Yeah,
turn like a. We should all have. I firmly believe this. I think this was an episode of Black Mirror where they have they're like stats, like a sim, like you know how Sims have like diamonds above them.
Yeah.
Well, like they have like their stats above them. That's how we should walk around. So you can have like do not disturb, and anyone seeing you be like, "Oh, don't talk to him." You know, that sort of thing. That'd be so much. It would be awesome.
Once you get those implants in our eyes and shit.
Yeah.
And you can kind of I can see that.
Or if you had like an invisible cloak.
What actually be really good is because sometimes you might miss out on good conversations. So one thing is like I would always have turned off. I was like, because I probably wouldn't have it always turned off. But what I would have is sports. Do not come up to me and mention anything about sports. Like at all. I don't want any of this shit.
Someone got to see like a diagnosis of you before they talk to you.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, he's
nope,
yep.
not gonna talk to him.
His sports things turned off. Oh, art. Okay, I'll talk about like if
It would save time.
yeah, if somebody. Well, I'm saying like. Because you can have like your passive interest on there. So like my active interest would be comic books, art, music. So anybody that wants to come and talk about that, come talk to me. And like my passive interests, did it just log out or something?
Well, that's weird.
Is it still going, you think? But what I was saying is like you can have your active interests, passive interests, and then your things that you do not want to talk about. So
Yeah, at least like a primer to, so people know what you're talking about. I'm going to reconnect this.
it's because it's the Halloween. What's going on? Tricks are being played.
Yeah, for real. No, I seriously. Oh, that's why it was echoing.
Why is that?
I don't think that I had these on.
The mics?
Yeah, I think that.
So we're just going through the camera?
No, I think it was going through the computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense then.
No, I think it was going.
But
through
this will be for the regular podcast, though. These will be on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be this voice. People probably couldn't hear shit.
That's probably why they weren't logging in and stuff. Like, damn, I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like you can just log in or just get it from Spotify or iTunes or something and listen to it if you missed half of it.
That's probably why it was quiet.
Yeah.
Or why it was echoing.
You're
I don't
bouncing
know,
off
my
the
dad also
computer
said-
screens and shit.
What were you just talking about, though?
I was talking about like when you have your light switched on, you can have your active
Oh,
interest,
yeah,
passive interest,
yeah,
and
yeah,
do
yeah.
not talk to me at all about this.
Yeah. It'd be nice. It
You
would
can have
be
your troll. Dude, I would have my trolling ones on too.
what?
Like have somebody come to you and talk about something and just troll the shit out of them.
I love trolling.
Yeah, it's
It's
kind of
my
fun.
new favorite pastime.
I think where I get into trolling is when somebody tries to act like a know-it-all, and then they don't want to have conversation. They just want to debate. Like you and I will
Right.
have conversations. It's like, no, actually, this is what happens, and I can't stand that shit. So I'll just turn on trolling and just troll the fuck out of them like I'm stupid.
Yeah, there's this, I follow a couple different things on Facebook of just like music things. And it's people always post this stuff, and I'll just get on there and troll about music. Like, these people should collaborate. And I'll be like, no, I don't think they should collaborate. One of them sucks. The other one's good. Stuff like that. It's fun. It's entertaining. I don't know if it's right, though.
I think trolling has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just now it's more easily available to do so.
Yeah.
It does, because I always think, because people tell me like, oh, that's not funny. Like I'm not a stand-up
Who are you
comedian.
to judge that it's not
yeah.
funny?
Well, for me, it's like I'm not a stand-up comedian. You're not paying me to entertain you. So what I'm doing is entertaining myself.
Right.
So of course you're not gonna find it funny.
Yeah.
I found it funny. You may not.
I find it very hard to restrain myself from political trolling because I really
Yes.
I don't really have a stance on anything. Really.
I try to stay away from that stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna vote, of course, and I have what's wrong, what's right, and that sort of thing. But people get heated,
it's weird,
and
too, isn't it?
yeah, and the amount of absolutism that people have in their political opinions is crazy.
It's tribalism too.
Yeah,
It's just like, I'm a Democrat, so I'm going to stick with everything Democrat. See, I always think about it like, the one side says pro-choice and the other side says pro-guns, right? But to me, it's the same thing. It's just how do you want to terminate humans? It's like is one wants to do it a certain way, but I get like there's more to it on one side.
Well, there's morals.
Saying,
it's all situational.
It's weird. The thing that I don't get is how these, because I always say this and I don't really like make a stance on it, is like I don't see how certain topics are still an issue. Like how have we not resolved these things yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like we just want to bicker back and forth. It's kind of like you're a dad, right? And then you're bored as shit. So what you decide to do with your two kids is pit them against each other and just like walk away. That's kind of how it feels like the whole.
Give one of them
like a bigger slice of chocolate.
Yeah. I just it's becoming just like when you get on Facebook or any sort of social media, that's all it is.
Well, right now, yeah, because of the midterm elections.
Which I agree that voting is very important, and if you have a conviction about something that's not being done right, or you want something to change, vote. A lot of people died for our ability to go out and vote, but at the same time, a lot of people have gone out and died for the ability not to vote. Sometimes I get like when people are like, "Why don't you vote? You should vote," that sort of thing, and it's like, well, if you don't want to,
it's your choice.
Yeah, it's your choice. Yeah, the people that fought for us to have a choice.
Yeah.
Between choosing this or that or not choosing anything at all. But I just, to me, it's all funny because it's I've been trying to look down the road, I'm still trying to live in the moment, but like looking down the road as in the sense of not letting things get like piss me off. Like the drives to work have been a lot better lately because I know I'm like, all right, I'm in the car for 25 minutes. I'm not going to get mad at texting drivers. I know I'm going to be at work. I know that this small period of bullshit that pisses me off will pass, and then I'll be at work, and then I turn on music, and I tune it all out, and then I'm at work, and it didn't bother me. And I feel like a lot of things in life, people get so hung up on the minutia. I know politics isn't a minutia topic, but
it can be if people are like,
but in the grand scheme, in 4 years, it's not going to matter to risk your health and getting cancer from getting so bent out of shape about something.
That's what it is people really think one human being is going to change the entire world.
Right.
It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, it's got to be a culmination.
Unless it's like, they start a war, like they specifically, then obviously it's going to change. But the thing that I can't stand is the ads that talk shit on the other people. I don't like those at all because like what happens if they win?
See that, and that's to me that I'm confused because all I know is the bullshit that someone else does from the ads and stuff. I don't really know anything good because it seems like the good ads supporting people are less played than the ones dogging on the opposite. It's like they almost want to like trash the other person enough so that when you go to vote, it's like, oh, well, I don't even know what this.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean?
It's like it's I forget what kind of logic that is, but it's like they used it. Have you ever seen the movie Thank You for Smoking?
Yeah.
Okay, he's talking to his son on that Ferris wheel, and he's like, I can just convince you that chocolate is bad, right? Automatically makes you assume that vanilla is good. I didn't even talk about vanilla. I'm just talking about how bad chocolate is.
Right.
That's the kind of sort of thing that works in people's brains is when you tell them, this thing is bad, what is the immediate alternative? That has to be good.
Right.
But no, that can be bad as well. They both can be equally good and everything. It's really weird. I don't like the whole, the thing is like in 2004 this person did this. Well, if you go back before Barack Obama was president, he didn't believe in gay marriage.
Right.
Like, dude, is it bad for people to change? Remember the term back in the day, flip-flopper?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I don't agree with something I said when I was 4.
Change is good.
Yeah, you should. Hopefully, that's kind of what you want, right? Somebody that's constantly trying to be
Well, if you
better.
didn't change, you'd still be if you dissect it and degrade it down to the very start, you'd still be a sperm in your dad's ball sack.
Yeah, well,
if you didn't
you'd be
change
half that and then half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Change is good. Change for, and I think that positive, negative, good, bad, right, wrong, evil, whatever, it's all subjective to the eye of the beholder. Obviously, there's some things that are like collectively agreed upon, like murder is collectively agreed upon that it's bad, but other things like smaller things is, is it bad to steal? Yes, but what if you're poor and you're starving, then is it okay to steal? Well, kind of not, but if it's for survival,
You think like situational things.
yeah, like
and-
the gray area and that sort of thing.
yeah.
But all this like absolutism, and I think that the absolutism, the way I think about it, is just because, you know, someone has some sort of, I mean, look at like Jim Jones or any of those cult things, you know, there's these fucking whacked out crazy ideals, and back then it was different. You had to, you know, get followers and stuff by word of mouth, not by posting stuff or or friend requests. But you get one person and they know a crazy person, you know, so it
Yeah.
builds on. So it's like easy to see like how that can happen.
That's kind of how I feel about certain like politicians. Is like they try to be some sort of weird cult leader. Like the things like I've worked for Missouri for 14 years. Like when did it become like that's just your job now? Like you
Right.
don't really represent the people who voted for you. It's just like, okay, I need my new contract so I can have my
Right.
job again.
Right.
And they just go about doing their own agenda.
That's how they get a raise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand. It's so weird. Politics are weird.
I don't understand because maybe I kind of like bought into the whole politics thing when I was fresh into college when I was younger, but now I see like it doesn't really do anything. Like
Yeah.
in the big scheme of things, I think they just want more of your money, and they just want to waste your time and energy with these sort of like debate stuff. I always wondered if, let's say for an example, you have the presidential elections in 2020, and it doesn't matter who's running. You just write in somebody foreign, and unanimously that foreign person wins. They didn't do any debate. Let's say like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Everybody writes in Arnold Schwarzenegger. He won based on the writing because you can write in.
Right.
Now he can't be president because he's foreign, right?
Oh, really?
You have to be vice president and presidency.
Oh, that's
You have
right.
to be
Yeah,
American.
yeah.
So what happens then? If everybody unanimously picks a foreign,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I
It
think some of the things that were written in whatever year all that stuff was written need to be revisited.
remember in the Joe Rogan thing, he's like, I wrote that with a
Quill.
yeah, like a feather.
Yeah.
Man. Like how do you not change?
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that. It's because you just like tack on these weird things.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I was going through my history book. I do not remember. I'm terrible with history, by the way. Is one of the what do you call them? It starts with a
Founding
C.
fathers.
No, they starts with a C, and you like fuck. It's like when you come up with something. I want to call them commandments, but they're not religious. It's like that version of it. And
Declarations. Amendments.
amendments, right? And one was just like completely crossed out.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
entire one, which was
You're
the
amending
prohibition.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the prohibition one was just all crossed out.
Yeah.
Like, why is this one crossed out? It's like, we kind of fucked up on that one.
Yeah, I just don't understand. It's the absolutism and all, like, nope, this person's wrong. Yep, this person's right. Nope, it's wrong. No one has any room for any, smart thinking about the left and the right, or
I don't know if you've seen this video, but it's quite funny. There's this girl, there's a girl filming, and there's a guy who's a leftist, right? And she is clearly against abortions. He's clearly for abortions, and she's the one who's for the abortion, or against the abortions. I mean, she's holding the camera, and the guy who's for abortions is talking about like, oh, so what about rape or about incest and all that stuff? And then the girl says it's a baby, and then you can tell the guy didn't like the answer, so he roundhouse kicks her to the face. And then, this was like maybe like a month ago or so. It's like he got so worked up over this person's thing, but the funny part about that is he ends up losing his job. So he went viral.
and that whole thing, it's like,
You're gonna hit somebody based on their
on
views.
If there are higher beings up there and they're monitoring us or they're listening in, I would be laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
The world is going to burn in like 30 years or whatever. Have you heard that? The scientists that's
Talking about the
global warming. Yeah,
yeah.
it's going up like I think it's at like 1 point something now, but it's going to like double or something in the next 30 years. I can't remember the
I
exact.
think you can change. You can slow it down if we stop things.
Yeah, we have to slow it down, but that's like the route we're on, and we can only live within a certain amount of the percentage or whatever. But that's real shit. Like, that's real.
See, that's what I mean. Is like I don't understand.
And people are like, global warming's not real. Like,
Well, I think global warming came out in the 80s,
yeah,
and since then they've been trying so hard to fight it. It's kind of like the tobacco companies. back in the 40s and 30s, and I guess 30s, 40s, 50s, were saying how it wasn't bad, and they were trying so hard to convince you that it was okay. And then it's like, oh no, in the 70s, like our product kind of just fucks you over. They fight so hard for this thing called money that just ends up ruining all of our lives.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so we get the global warming's real. Let's stop it. But I get that, like, you can't do change immediately right now. But I don't know. You're talking about human lives. You know, you're so worried about, like, if one person scrambles out some baby batter goo in a belly rather than the entire world's population over global warming.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the big hang, like, yeah. I mean, I've been considering getting a electric car or a better car for the what is it called, the atmosphere, the climate,
the environment,
the environment. Yeah, an environment friendly car. Just because, like, well, I don't. If it does get to the time it's time to go, I don't want to be a person that contributed to, pushing us off the ledge.
This one person, she was telling me about your carbon footprint. And I remember she's like,
yeah,
the way that I have been using the Earth's energy is I would need 8 Earths to sustain myself. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I never understood. What the fuck you need 8 Earths for? There's 7 billion people or 9 billion people, whatever. I don't even know how many billions anymore, but it's like,
I think 8.
You're going to need 8 fucking Earths to sustain your energy uses?
Yeah, it's not real.
Like, no. The Earth would just be wiped out like 50,000 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's I just think human race in general is just getting so weird and obnoxious.
I think it's because we made up these weird lines, these arbitrary lines that said this is what we do here, and then we fight against our beliefs. They can actually blow people up, fly shit into things for our beliefs because we're trying to prove a point.
Right.
We don't like our neighbors because, like, for whatever reasons. But I don't.
So we're gonna prove a point by perfect example. There's these 2 houses on State Line, and one of the houses, I don't think the people live there anymore. But when I first moved here, I saw like cops there a couple times, and there's people in the middle of the yards. But then like I saw. So, like, the house on the left had all these no trespassing signs. Then the house on the right had no trespassing signs. And they had some on their yards facing each other. Like, one person had a no trespassing sign, and then the other one had a no trespassing sign, like, fighting it. So they're just like, kill your neighbor. They're, like, fighting each other over it. And it's like, what are you doing?
It's very childish.
Yeah.
It's like, just grow up.
Yeah. Like you said, these lines. But I think a lot of it is like there's this, and I think we've talked about this before, but I see it a lot in where I work, and there's a lot of like this notion of where like you can't be wrong or you can't be belittled in your thought process, or like you can't not know something. Working in the tech world, someone will be like, oh, hey, I don't know how to write this function in JavaScript or whatever. They won't say that. But that's the thesis of what they're trying to say. Like, hey, will you come over here? Yeah, so I'm doing this and that and this is why I'm doing this. And the person will be like, oh, you just have to switch these 2 things. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, cool, that's fine. Yeah, I thought that, but, like, I didn't really know. And, like, I thought it was this other thing. It's like there's always this.
Do you think it's because they don't want to look stupid?
Yeah, but there's, like, this defense of, like, not being wrong. People can't be wrong. I think that we've built up our shells so much with all of this all this extra build up in your ego from social media and that sort of thing, that now you're like, well, I mean something in the social media world because 50 people like my posts consistently. So when I'm in the workspace and I don't know how to solve the splitting of a nuclear atom, I can't look stupid in that situation because these 50 people depend on me. And there's kind of like this false I don't know the proper term, this false, build up of like your self-esteem and your ego where like it's okay to be wrong,
That's how you learn.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't know something, like, fuck, I don't know, tell me. Okay, well, now I know for the next time.
It's like what you're saying with flat bills. I had no idea what the fuck flat bills are. Like, now I know. But I think the thing is, like, maybe let's say like I don't know something and I tell you I don't know. Maybe you're afraid of being judged. Like for me, I just want to know.
Right.
Because for the most part, from everybody that I've ever really talked to, when I say I don't really know, can you explain it to me? They're not like, oh, you're an idiot. Look at you. You don't know this.
Right.
Like, yeah, I just told you I don't know this. It's never that way. Maybe it's like when somebody comes up like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing with this Java thing. Can you help me out real quick? And they're like, oh, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're doing. Like, okay, this is not helpful. I just need to know how to,
Right.
Nobody really does that.
Yeah, it's a buildup of your false persona that we've talked about before. We have like these like false personas that's how we portray ourselves in the social media world and the picture world and all that kind of world, but that's not who we are inside. So we have to make sure we keep that stern, shielded, external, version of ourselves where you can't penetrate, because if you penetrate, you see the true inside of me. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. I see it.
Yeah.
And I try not to notice it, but I do notice it. I'm just like, dude, just say you're fucking wrong. I hear people all the time. What is 2 + 2? 2 + 2 is 4. Cool. Got it. Thank you. I'll remember that next time. Hey, could you tell me what 2 + 2 is? It's 4. Oh, that's what I thought. But last time I did 2 + 2, it came out as like 2 point something, and like the calculator was kind of out of battery, so I couldn't see the last number, and I was just like unsure. I mean, I thought it was, and there's just all of this conversation surrounding the nonsensical, surrounding your ego, so that your ego is not dented by you not knowing something.
Yeah, there's some weird excuses that are, because that's what my last job, I was like, oh, so what do we do for this? Like, nope, that's wrong. I'm like, okay, well, I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But then somebody else is like, well, oh, okay, see, the reason why I was doing it this way, the reason why you're doing it that way is because you're wrong.
Right.
You're still wrong, and no matter what excuse you come up with. It's like that Neil deGrasse Tyson thing. He said, hey, spell cat. When you say WXR, it's equally as wrong as KAT. They're
Right.
equally as wrong.
Yeah.
So like, no matter if you come up, what I was using that for an example is, no matter what excuse you come up with, you were wrong. So it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Or it's okay to not know.
Yeah. It's just funny to see people get all squirmy because they're wrong. It's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to know everything. You'll never know everything. There you go. That's the solution. I want to know I want to know as much as I can about as much as I can. But if I don't know it, it's fine.
Yeah, like I was saying, like that's when you can turn on your light, and like, okay, I'm passively interested in, let's say, I don't know, like one thing that I don't really know too much about is the mechanics of a guitar. I just pick them up, and whenever they sound good, that's what I just play with. I'm actually kind of interested in it. If somebody has, just switch that on. But like I said, if somebody comes up and is like, oh man, do you want to know about the 1970 World Series? No, I don't care about that at all. I don't care these people, what they did or anything.
Right.
Just turn that thing off.
Well, and I also feel like kind of the opposite. If you're searching for knowledge, you get so much bullshit you have to sift through. Like I'm studying really hard. I don't want to use the word studying because it's not like school, but I'm...
You can still study stuff. Like
Yeah,
I study anatomy and things.
Yeah, like studying deep into like the mixing of music world and compression and equalizing and the real reasons to use it and the appropriate application of it, not just what the consensus is to use it nowadays, but use it in like a classical sense. And there's so much shit on the internet of people telling you why they use something or how it's properly used. Or a tutorial doing it, and it's because no one told them that they were wrong. No one's ever told them they were wrong. No one was like, that's absolutely fucking wrong. They've just been told, oh yeah, that's cool, or I don't know the reasoning why they do it, but there's so much wrong information out there. And when you're like looking for real facts or real information, you have to sift through all the loonies or the whatever people that don't really know what the fuck they're talking about to get to the actual real piece of information. I've been looking for, all I want, this is a very simple concept, all I want is a book on the art, the foundation of mixing music.
Do you have that on Amazon?
The most basic. I found a couple, but like you type that in on Reddit or something, and I mean there is just
Oh, I bet, because everybody has their own opinion on it.
Exactly, and that's another thing too. It's all opinion too, but there are some basical 2 + 2 = 4 facts about the art of mixing. What is the purpose of a compressor? What's the purpose of EQ? This and that. But there's so much crap you have to sift through.
If anything, if I'm researching something, mainly the things that I kind of research is like, okay, I'm feeling this way. Let me try to figure out how to explain it so I know how to combat why I'm feeling that way. It's kind of like if you're hungry and you don't know you're hungry, like, oh, okay, the reason I feel this way is because I'm hungry. So I'll search for things like that, and if anything says 2016 or older, fuck it, not reading it. Are you that way? Like,
yeah.
if something says 09, I'm not reading something from 09. I'm gonna read something from 17 and 18.
Right. I look for the word the basics.
Yeah.
Because like I'm looking kind of for the basics, but I still want some informed technical stuff in there. But a lot of it is just crap. It's, the 16-year-old kid in their bedroom, which they are good or whatever. They might have their own opinion, but it's like, I'm not looking for that. Like I want someone that's been making music for 30 years who recorded, the Allman Brothers, and they're also still not recording music. Okay, that's someone I can trust. I don't need the wackadoo that doesn't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, when I see mixing boards and shit, I'm like, for some reason I just get the overwhelming feeling that there's just pretentious switches. It's like
they're really not, but yeah, I get that
because they're just everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, this is like I got a plane for an example. It's like when you see when the pilot's like leaving, like, hey, take care and everything. You get to see inside the cockpit, and it just switches everything. Like, do you really know
what all those are for?
Yeah, I do know it exactly.
But I bet they are, because a person.
I'm hoping they know what everything is, especially like what you're saying, like with the mix. I don't know this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I see it, that's my first impression is, what is this shit?
Right. Well, a mix engineer knows what every knob is for and knows how to use it tastefully and use it to what its purpose is. But if you get, a 16-year-old kid in there, you're like, oh, I don't know what that is.
I remember when they started coming out with remixes, and I always thought it was, because remixing was popular in the 90s, was just dubstep version of shit. Well, it wasn't dubstep back then, it was techno.
Yeah.
It's like the techno version of that song.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's what remixing means, is you're just making it a techno beat.
Yeah.
I was listening, this is kind of going off a little tangent real quick, but I was listening to this YouTube channel, wasted about 45 minutes of my life, of 1996, 96, 97, 98. Top songs of that time, and I forgot how much techno was in songs back in the 90s.
Like, what's an example?
Like all of the pop music was like techno-y shit.
Are you talking about like, what is love?
Yeah, shit like that. Like I Am Blue.
Oh yeah,
like stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's so much.
It is weird
shit
to think about, because especially like nowadays, like I listen to a lot of electronic music and that sort of thing, and I don't think, to me, when I was growing up, I wasn't really exposed to a lot of electronic music, but then when I go back and listen, I'm like, oh shit, there was a lot of electronic music. Yeah. Even like I listen to like Static X and like Rob Zombie a lot, and there's electronic aspects in that music as well.
Yeah, dude, I used to love Rob Zombie when I was a kid.
Rob Zombie's a shit. His movies are awesome. He's coming out with a new movie. I forget the name of it, but
I just think he looks cool.
Yeah.
Like his persona looks cool.
Yeah. Well, that whole era, I feel like there was like Marilyn Manson. Like he had this persona.
But he was like the Antichrist.
Right.
And then Rob Zombie was like the ghoul.
Yeah, exactly. But like they took these like otherworldly personas, like Rob Zombie, and he's a genius musician and a genius songwriter and a genius music person. Marilyn Manson, same thing. He's a brilliant musician, brilliant music man. Slipknot, they wore all this crazy shit, and that's what, look at Kiss, like that. They knew that, like, I need a gimmick.
Dude, that's what I think. It's what it really is how can you make what you are something different? And I think if you be anything, you have to be a character version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like AC/DC is the schoolboy outfit, right?
Right.
Still in his 70s, he'll wear
Iron
that
Maiden.
outfit. Yeah, like things like that. Even if going to comic book people like Grant Morrison built this idea of this like extraterrestrial version of himself, to make him seem more alluring. So I think that's kind of what you have to do. But one of my favorite things that Rob Zombie did was in the Beavis and Butthead Do America, the peyote scene.
Oh yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah. Well, even like a contemporary example is Marshmello, the DJ Marshmello. It's rumored, but I'm pretty sure this is real. There was this other music producer named .com, like DOTCOM, who's like a really good producer, but I don't think he was like taking off as much as he wanted himself to. So I think he switched into Marshmello, got a gimmick, and now look at him.
Yeah.
He's fucking all around the world and that sort of thing.
I was watching. Have you ever heard of a band called Goat?
GOAT?
Yeah. It's like a psychedelic.
Oh, I'm thinking of Goat Whore.
No, this Goat's like a psychedelic, modern psychedelic type of music band, but they wear masks as well. And one of my favorite comments on one of their live videos is, "This is Slipknot for hippies." It totally is. Like they're just wearing masks, and like it's like mask of like animals and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's exactly what Slipknot, because they have the exact same amount of members, which is
Right.
like 42 people in their band.
Yeah.
I
I
remember-
think
Well,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
there's like 11 or 12 in Slipknot.
I remember when I first saw Slipknot, I was like, what is this? This is so, because when I was growing up, my sister was more into that sort of music, so I would listen to like that sort of stuff, like Mudvayne and like bands like that.
Yeah, that was my jam. Those are my jams.
And I was like, okay, their music's not too terribly bad, but I was never really into that as a kid.
Yeah.
But I was exposed to that from my sister.
Yeah.
The one band that stuck with me, though, that she would listen to, like to this day, like I think they don't sound like they're dated, is Tool.
Oh yeah.
Like when I hear Tool, it's like that song can come out now and still
yeah,
sound.
it could come out forever. Same
Yeah.
with like the Talking Heads. There's bands that are timeless and they will remain awesome all through time.
That is my biggest thing with the Beatles. Is like, sure, Beatles are good, whatever. They are dated as fuck.
Really?
I think they're so dated.
I don't know.
If you listen,
They're like a nostalgia timeless.
but I mean, like to me, they have a certain time frame when they switch over. So if you listen to Revolver On, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But if you listen to like Please Please Me, that shit is so dated.
Oh yeah, the early shit for sure.
And that's how I feel about Jimi Hendrix too. As I feel like you listen to his shit, it's dated.
Oh yeah, definitely dated, but it's still like a pioneer, so it's a certain kind of thing.
Yeah, but I like music that I feel like Pearl Jam, maybe Pearl Jam,
Blah.
only
90s.
only because they sound the same. So
Yeah.
to me, I don't know. Like Foo Fighters are still the same.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't really like change their sort of formula, so I don't know if it can sound dated.
Right.
But for the most part, I think all that's like that tambourine thing from the 60s, like
Yeah.
very
That
dated.
same like it's the tempo too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you just kind of play that weird, clean guitar sound
Yeah.
to it, like not really distortion added into it too
Right.
terribly much yet.
Right.
And then one band I think, that sounds really dated. That is from the 90s. Oh, I'm like losing the name of the band. They were really popular. Oh, is Limp Bizkit.
Oh.
Like that stuff to me, like when you put Limp Bizkit on, I was like, oh, that reminds me of the 90s.
Oh yeah, for sure. Limp Bizkit, Corn.
My friend calls it butt rock. It's just shit.
That's funny.
But listening to Korn, Seven Dust, Everlast, Limp Bizkit, or I said Limp Bizkit, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Seven Dust. Anyways, that shit playing Goldeneye reminds me of my youth.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Whitey Ford Plays the Blues. That
Yeah.
record is like my childhood.
I love that album. All right, let's wrap this up.
All right. Got anything to add? Last little bits of information for people?
Nope. Yeah, go check out the Break Night album
Oh, yeah.
on Spotify, Weekend Warrior, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. Go over to Reality Observation Report, Facebook. Give us a follow. Give us a follow on YouTube. Follow on Twitter.
As always, comment, like, share, message us, do something.
Do something
Yeah, something.
important. Adios.
Mi amigos.